Okay? Donald Trump, when he was a first-term president, didn't start any wars. And so the left is not expecting Donald Trump to declare war. He didn't do so, and he's declared he won't do so. Donald Trump has recently said publicly that Joe Biden is not doing enough to protect Israel, meaning that he will do more to support Israel. Well, what does that mean? It means that he'll give Israel more weapons, and he will defend Israel against its enemies, which include Hezbollah and Iran, okay? That's the second thing. The third thing is that there are now a group of billionaires who are coalescing around Donald Trump, okay? And these billionaires are Miriam Adelson, the most pro-Israel billionaire in all of America. And she plans to give Donald Trump $90 million, okay? That's a lot of money. But then you also have someone like Steven Schwartzman and Bill Ackman, okay? All these guys are extremely pro-Israel. They're Jewish billionaires who are extremely pro-Israel. Now, why are they giving Donald Trump a lot of money? It's because they want something, right? And what I'm guessing is what they want is for Donald Trump to make Nikki Haley his vice president, okay? And to staff his cabinet, his government with pro-Israel individuals, okay? Who include Mike Pompeo. In other words, Donald Trump presidency, the government is going to be extremely anti-Iran and pro-war with Iran. Nikki Haley, a couple weeks ago, went to Israel. She visited Israel. And she took a picture of herself. And what she did was she signed a bomb, okay? A bomb that was being dropped on Gaza and said, finish them. America loves Israel. Nikki Haley, okay? She's calling for mass genocide against the Palestinians. That's Nikki Haley, guys. All right? So given the way things are turning out, I imagine that Nikki Haley becomes vice president. And that's good for Trump because she's a scapegoat now, right? Trump can say, hey, this war, it's all Nikki Haley's fault. Trump believed he won in 2020. But why did he lose the presidency? Because the deep state rigged the election. And why did the deep state rig the election? Because he refused to fight wars. So if he wants to become president, then he has no choice but to play along with the deep state, okay? Which means going to war. If he picks Nikki Haley to be VP or not. We'll know in August if he wants Nikki Haley to be his VP, okay? But if he picks Nikki Haley as VP, that's a sure sign that he's going to go to war with Iran, I think, okay? Because she'll be pushing for war with Iran, okay? But then the question then is, how will Donald Trump's base react? Because his base is actually extremely anti-Nikki Haley and anti-war, right? And the answer is, at first, what will happen is that the elite, the mainstream media, will support Trump in his war with Iran, okay? And you have a lot of people who supported Trump who felt betrayed. But then over time, what will happen is that Donald Trump will figure out how to manipulate his base so that his base comes back to him. And so there are different ways he can do that. First of all, what he can do is blame Nikki Haley in the deep state and says, oh, I was fooled. I was manipulated. I now want out of this war, okay? After he wins in 2028, he can change directions and say, I now want to end this war and make America into a Christian isolationist theocracy, okay? That's something that he can do, all right? Something that he can do is go against Israel, okay? And just say that it's Israel that planned all this, okay? It's Israel that conspired to trick America into going to war. He can say that. And there'll be a lot of people who say that, okay? It was the Jews who conspired against us. So there's a lot of things he can say. But whatever he does, all it's going to do is create more war, okay, within America. All he's going to do is inflame the civil war. No matter what he does, there's going to be people who love him and there are going to be people who hate him. And they're going to go to war with each other. And that's why I think Donald Trump, as long as he's in office, the civil war is going to break out and it's going to be very, very violent. I don't know what it is about Donald Trump, but he brings out the worst in people. In 2016, before Donald Trump was president, America was actually a pretty sane place. Now it's insane. Now it's like you can't recognize it anymore, okay? Now, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, okay? I am very much on the left, okay? I think like a person on the left, and my values are extremely liberal left values, okay? And in 2016, when Trump became president, I was traumatized. I believed the world had fallen apart, okay? I believed the world was destroyed. Everything that I believed in was destroyed. And it took me a long time to step out of the trauma. But, you know, I still have these liberal friends. And like the moment we talk about Trump, if I say anything nice about Trump, which is like, okay, you know what? Trump is an idiot, but he's representing people who feel marginalized. They become so angry with me, okay? Like I feel insecure or unsafe. I feel as though they're about to punch me, okay? If I say anything nice about Donald Trump, then people will want to punch me. And like, I'm their friend. I've known them for like decades. And they know that, like, I hate Donald Trump as much as anyone, okay? But you're not allowed to say anything nice about Donald Trump among liberals and leftist people. Does that answer your question, Celine? Okay. So it's complicated, okay? But I think this is what could happen. Any more questions? This goes back to the question of empire, okay? So again, unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans who benefit from empire. Okay, that's why they want war with Iran. Especially, so these people work on Wall Street. They work for the military-industrial complex, and they tend to live in the suburbs. Is there anything you're not clear about? Does this argument make sense to you? Does the logic here make sense to you guys? Okay, is there anything you want me to clarify? So next class we'll talk about what happens afterwards. Okay. So what this is telling us is that America is going to retreat from the world. But when America retreats from the world, we will live in a multipolar world. Okay. So next class we'll discuss what this multipolar world looks like. Okay.